order the Finance Committee of March 26, 2024. First item on the agenda, or I should say the second item on the agenda, is the approval of minutes, the draft minutes of the March 12, 2024 Finance Committee meeting. Do I have a motion? Do I have a motion to approve?
I move to approval.
All right. Alder Gerhardt has a motion for approval. Discussion between us and the committee. Seeing none, I'll place the motion before us to a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is item 3, public appearances, non-agenda items. Nobody registered or in chambers, Scott. Thank you very much. Item 4, Finance Director report. Our Finance Director, Misty Dodge, is not with us this week, but we have the City Accountant, Robert Cornelius. I'll turn the floor over to you.
Good evening. Quick report. The audit fieldwork went well overall, and that they are still planning for the May 28th Finance Committee to present on the final report from Baker Tilly.
Okay, very good. Anything else to add?
That is it.
All right. Thank you, Robert. Moving on, item 5, review of bills. 5A, detailed review of checks for $10,000 and above for the period of March 1st through the 15th, 2024, totaling $536,511.44. Questions? Seeing none, we will move on to item 5B, detailed review of all checks issued, checks 126616 through 126995, for the period of March 1st through the 15th, 2024, totaling $699,372.83. Discussion. Hearing none, moving on to item 5C, detailed review of P-card transactions for $10,000 and above for the cycle ending February 6, 2024. Total dollars, $113,577.28. Discussion. Seeing none, moving on. 5D, review of P-card transactions for the cycle ending February 6, 2024. Total dollars, $257,677.75. Discussion. No questions. All right. Just for the audience, the residents of Fitchburg, it's Alder Gerhardt and myself this evening. Moving on to item 6 on the agenda, action items. First item, 6A. Do I have a motion to move resolution R-11-24, approving contract for Cintas for uniform, towel, and mat services for Public Works Maintenance Facility and Crews? And this resolution was postponed from March 12, 2024 meeting.
And I'm going to move to postpone to April 9th meeting.
Okay. I believe city staff is still working on the agreement. Is that correct, Robert?
That is correct.
Okay, very good. We have a motion for postponement until the April 9th. Place the motion before us to a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Motion carries. The next item, under action item 6B, do I have a motion to move resolution R-42-24, Fire Department 2024 Annual DANECOM Radio Maintenance, postponed from March 12th, 2024 meeting?
I move approval.
All right. Alder Gerhardt has motion for approval. And are you speaking to this, Robert? Or
Yeah, I can speak to this
Okay.
one. So this is the 2024 Annual DANECOM Radio Maintenance Agreement. It is our part so that we can use the DANECOM radio system. It is used by the PD dispatch, by fire, and then by Verona and Epic as well. And then we invoice them their portion of the maintenance fees. But this is just to make payment.
Okay, very good. Very good. And this is just the annual as it says. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Questions? Anything? Alder? Okay, nothing. I'll place the motion before us into a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Moving on to the next action item, 6C. Do I have a motion to move resolution R-43-24, approving purchase of salt for the 2024-2025 season? And this is a direct referral.
I move approval.
We have a motion for approval made by Alder Gerhardt And I see our Director of Public Works and Engineering, Tim Volker, online, so I'll turn the floor over to you, Tim.
Thank you. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation invites the city of Fitchburg to participate in the cooperative bidding process for the 2024-2025 winter road salt contract. WisDOT will competitively bid the 2024-2025 salt contract. Combining municipal and state quantities typically results in a much lower salt cost per ton for the city of Fitchburg. The vendor has not been selected by the state, but the intention is to use the vendor selected through the WisDOT bid process. Public Works has budgeted $97,000 for road salt for the 2024-2025 winter season. So we're looking for authorization to participate in the cooperative bidding process. We would enter into an agreement with the vendor awarded by WisDOT in an amount not to exceed the $97,000 budget. And with that, does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, Alder Gerhart, go ahead.
One question, I know we do salt brining before big snowstorms, is that correct?
Correct.
And is that something that we budget for separately?
And during storms too. What was that?
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that last thing. You said it was for a different process as well?
Yeah, we utilize salt brine for pre-treatment, and then also during the application of salt, we'll spray it with salt brine to activate it.
Nice. So is that something that we buy separately, or is that something we produce in-house? How does the salt brining part of the contract work?
Yeah, so the salt brine is a separate contract. We get that through the county, Dane County, and then we'll pick that up and have that. And then the actual salt is through the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
And I know you haven't been here in this department for that long, but I assume that when we started using the salt brining that our salt use went down. Do you have any idea if that's historically true?
Yes, it is. With the salt brine, it helps, like I mentioned, activate the salt so it's more effective on the roadway, and then also helps wet it so the wind doesn't blow it off the road. So, by not blowing it off the road, it's on the road doing its job. We don't have to add more salt as if it did get blown off.
Fantastic. Thank you.
All right.
You're welcome.
Any additional questions, Alder? All right. I'll place the motion before us to a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Moving on to the next action item. Let me find my bearings here, which is 6D. Do I have a motion to move Resolution R-47-24, amending the 2024 budget for various funds, 2023 carryovers?
I move approval.
All right. Alder Gerhart has motion for approval. I believe, Robert, you're going to speak to this item?
I am.
Okay.
R4724, this is the carryover resolution. It's an annual process by which we identify projects that were budgeted in 2023 but did not get completed in that year. And this allows them to move forward and complete the project in 2024. Finance followed the established guidelines to determine the recommended amounts that you do see in this resolution.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Questions? Seeing none, place the motion before us to a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Moving on to the next action item, which is 6E. Do I have a motion to move Resolution R-49-24, authorizing transit service agreement between the City of Madison and the City of Fitchburg?
I move approval.
All right. Motion for approval made by Alder Gerhart. Tim, are you speaking to this item this evening?
Yes, I will be.
Okay.
So the City of Fitchburg contracts with the City of Madison for Metro Transit for a fixed route bus service and on-demand paratransit service. The current transit service agreement, which was signed in 2022, causes delays in auditing. Therefore, Madison had asked us and the other partners within this agreement if it could be revised. The intent of the agreement remains the same as the previous agreement. The change that Madison Metro was looking for was to change it from an operating reserve to what's called an audited share. Basically, the operating reserve was causing delays in their auditing process. So the audited share is going to help out City of Madison in their auditing process. Some other changes that we did make in the agreement were the fixed route service hours were increased due to the network redesign that Madison Metro just enacted this past June 2023. And then as part of the redesign, Fitchburg had some additional service requests, so our hours had increased. And then also the fixed route hourly rate was increased, and this was due to staffing and equipment costs that have gone up for Madison Metro. So the agreement was revised to reflect those increased staffing and equipment costs. And then lastly, the Parrot Transit was changed to a mileage calculation with this new agreement, and that will actually save the city cost by having that changed. So right now, the portion of the fixed route hours is about 3.35% of the system, and with the Parrot Transit now being calculated on mileage, that will decrease down to 3.12%. So this agreement covers service until December 2026, and we're looking for council to authorize the attached agreement, subject to technical corrections by the city attorney.
Thank you, Tim. So there's a number of items that this resolution addresses, but it sounds like the audit share, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, or that was the main thrust of the resolution. But as far as the routes, none of the routes themselves have not been changed, correct?
Correct. The
Okay.
routes are still what the redesign enacted back in June 2023. So none of the routes have changed.
Good. And then the frequency, is there a change there? I believe you mentioned something about frequency. Is it more or less?
The frequency of the routes is still the same. And by signing this agreement doesn't mean we can't change anything we have. We have been in discussions with Madison Metro to kind of change some of the routes that come to City Hall and the city campus.
Right.
But what's in this agreement wouldn't affect it, doesn't preclude us from making any changes to the existing system.
Good. And there is no significant increase in dollars. I mean that, again, that wasn't the primary focus of this resolution, or at least between the city of Madison and the city of Fitchburg, correct?
So the hourly rate for the fixed route bus service did go up. So that the previous agreement in 2024 it was $121.95 we were charged per operating hour. And with this new agreement, that has increased about $15 to $136 an hour. So that's about a $223,000 increase. And that was to capture increased staffing and equipment costs for Madison Metro that they've seen.
That's for the entire agreement, though, 200,000 plus in addition, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, for 2020, that's for 2024. So then, 2025, there's also an increase. The old agreement in 2025, the hourly rate was $125, and then the new hourly rate is $148. So it's a little bit more than 10% increase in the hourly rate for fixed bus route service.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Alder Gerhardt, did you have a question? Oh, I thought you did. Okay. Very good. Thank you, Tim. We don't have any
welcome.
additional questions. I'll place the motion to a vote then. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Again, thank you, Tim. Moving on to the next action item, which is 6F. Do I have a motion to move Resolution R-50-24, approving the relocation order and TPP Amendment Number 1 related to the reconstruction of Cyene Road Phase 2, north of East Sherrill Parkway to West Clayton Road?
I move approval.
All right. Alder Gerhart has motion for approval. Tim, you're speaking to this item?
Yes. So the 2023 capital improvement program included funds to reconstruct Cyene Road Phase 2, which is north of East Sherrill Parkway to West Clayton Road. The City Council approved Resolution 149-21, selecting a cross-section that included 2 travel lanes, 2 buffered bike lanes, and the existing multi-use path. So that the city has determined that it is necessary for public purpose to reconstruct Cyene Road Phase 2 with the approved cross-sectional elements. And then the City Council adopted Resolution 154-23 approving the relocation order and transportation project plat. And since that plat was approved, KL Engineering, which is the city's engineering consultant, was reviewing the utility impacts and found some additional details needed to be included on the transportation project plat. So this resolution is just authorizing the changes to the transportation project plat. Those changes were just adding some AT&T utility lines to be called out, and then also an AT&T pedestal. And then lastly, as part of the design, we shifted a crosswalk at the intersection of Argus Lane and Cyene Road closer to the intersection, so it wouldn't be a mid-block crosswalk. And this change requires a temporary limited easement from parcel 28A. Therefore, we're looking for authorization just to add that to the plat, or the transportation project plat.
Very good, very good. I'm guessing that the reason for the compensable charges for AT&T is that their facilities are on private property, and we're acquiring that for a private easement, or maybe moving the road right away.
They had the easement already. I believe it's within the right of way. Well, let me just take a look here at the table. Yeah, they actually right away. It looks like it's on parcel 23, and then also looks like parcel 28 are where the utility easements were added.
Okay, I mean, regardless, though, they already had an easement established, and then because of the road work, the road project, they had to relocate their facilities.
Correct.
Okay, very good. Alder Gerhart, any questions? All right. Hearing none, I'll place the motion before us then to a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Moving on to item 6G. Do I have a motion to move Resolution R-53-24, purchase of 2 police vehicles? And this is a direct referral.
I move approval.
All right, very good. Alder Gerhart has motion for approval. And Robert?
I will be speaking on this one.
All right.
The police department has 2 vehicle squads that are due to replace in 2025. The ordering window for these 2025 Ford Police Interceptors recently opened. The police department is requesting to order these 2 vehicles before Ford closes that window. With this one, squad number 1918 was totaled. The insurance payment from that totaled squad is being applied to the purchase of these 2 squads. And then this resolution also includes a budget amendment to authorize the use of funds accumulated in previous years towards the CIP project.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Robert. Questions from the committee? Yes, Alder Gerhart.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're able to answer this, but my one question is about, because we're applying the totaled squad vehicle amount of money to these 2 cars, it just seems like we're in need of 2 new cars, and we lost a car. So it seems like we're in need of 3 cars. Is the police department going to be able to make do with what they have in the fleet, even given those circumstances?
I believe this one was in line to be replaced.
Oh,
That was
okay.
totaled, so they aren't in dire need to order a third one for that totaled squad.
Got it. Thank you.
All right, very good. Additional questions? Seeing none, I'll place the motion before us to a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it, motion carries. Moving on to our last action item, which is 6H. Do I have a motion to move Resolution R-60-24, approving tower site lease agreement with Subcarrier Communications, Inc.?
I move approval.
All right, very good. We have a motion for approval made by Alder Gerhart. And Interim Chief, you're going to speak to this item?
Yes, I will.
Very good, go ahead.
So Resolution R-60-24 essentially is the city of Fitchburg approved the upgrade of analog tactical system known as FRATS, which stands for the Fitchburg Verona Analog Tactical System. It's a 2-channel, 2-way radio system that we use for significant emergency responses, mainly for structure fires or any other calls that are assigned by the Dane County 911 Center for us to use. There's currently radio equipment that's on the tower that was currently there before the new owner. What the resolution is asking for is that the said equipment is to stay on the tower, but also to enter an agreement with the new tower owner. It come to effect that when we went to do the upgrades, we had found out that the ownership had changed hands of the tower. So that's why we're asking for the resolution to be passed, so that we, one, can get on the tower and make those necessary upgrades to the FRAT system.
Very good. Questions from the committee? All right, hearing none. I'll place the motion before us then to a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you, Chief. All right. That concludes our action item portion of the agenda. Moving on to item 7, announcements. The next Finance Committee meeting is scheduled for April 9th, 2024. And then, of course, item 8, adjournment. Do I have a motion?
I move to adjourn.
All right. Motion for adjournment has been made by Alder Gerhart. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you.